Welcome to the show, everybody, on this beautiful Monday morning. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live. Oh, I didn't put my sign up, did I? Let's see. Yeah, I forgot. I got it. There it is. It's there. It's there. Yeah, Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from the studios of 4680Q Radio, downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Yes, right across from the Meteor Crater. And speaking of the Meteor Crater, there's people working in it. They got some kind of surveyors, guys going to measuring stuff. They're getting ready for what? I don't know. They're gonna do something over there. I don't know what they're gonna do. What's going on here? Everything sounds like I'm coming out of a can here, talking in a tin can, which is really weird. I don't know why. It's probably good for my video guys, but I don't know what's up with the audio. It seems a little bit weird. It's like I got something going on. I'm looking at the board here. I don't see anything fishy here. So I hope you're getting it all right on 4680q.com, because that's where we do it live every day on the internet. And then we get the video and we throw it up on YouTube, X Rumble, and Truth Social during the day. It appears. So, hey, out there in Radio Land, I hope you're getting this all right. Everything's okay, coming in loud and clear. It should be. But I don't know. It sounds funny in my headphones. And when it sounds funny in my headphones, it's usually funny broadcasting. Who knows? Everything's all right here. So, hey, let's get into the show. Now, the weather, 51 degrees when I woke up this morning. It's getting a little bit chilly out there. A little bit chilly in the mornings. Yeah, that's what's happening. Well, we know where we're headed. And that's why you have to get the Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, because you know what's coming. Do not be reactive, be proactive. Get down to Wild Bill's, make sure that everything's good with your car, make sure it's running tip top. You don't want to break down in the winter. That's not the place you want to break down. You don't want to break down in the winter. You want to have your car running good. So you check your heater, you check your defroster, you check your brakes, you check every system that you can think of. And that's what Ken does, by the way. You don't have to check anything. Ken does it all for you. Ken Hunter down at Wild Bill's. And he also has a full body shop. Get your car in a wreck. Guess what? You take it there. He sends it back to you in showroom condition, fully licensed. Unbelievable job they do over there. You got to love it. One-stop shop at Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, next to the Kia dealership. WildBillsAuto.ca is where you go to see all the beautiful work they do. And while you're there, I want you to go to the video. Yeah, this video right here you're watching. If you're watching it on video, or if you're listening, go to the video on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. I know that when people watch it, 40% of them don't subscribe. I don't know why. It's free. It helps the algorithm, helps get the show out there. The more, the merrier. We have an election coming up. There's lots going on. I'm going to tell you a lot about it today. We're going to talk about that. You want to pick and choose the right candidates to represent this city. It's your tax dollars they're spending. You want to make sure they spend it right. 25% increase over the last 4 years. Looking down the barrel of 6% this year. That's why you want to subscribe to this channel and find out what's going on. And go to places like the Property Taxpayers Alliance, too, on Facebook. They keep track of all this stuff. Al was in here, and he talked all about it. He's going to come back. We're going to get Alan McKay back and make sure that you're aware, you're informed. An informed voter is a good voter. We'll get to the rest of my sponsors a little bit later on. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamel Machine Company, and the Niagara Parks Commission. A little bit of bad news over the weekend for Habs fans. That's right. Sad to say it. One of our all-star alumni died over the weekend, and this guy transcended team allegiance. I mean, it didn't matter if you were a Habs fan or not. This guy was a fan favorite all over the world of hockey. They're amazed by a guy who had such a short career, but such a stellar career with the Habs. Habs legend Ken Dryden died of cancer last Friday, and what a sad day. what a sad day. In 8 short years in the NHL, the goaltender scooped 6 Stanley Cups in 8 years, including 4 in a row in the late 70s, 5 Vezina trophies, a Calder as a Rookie of the Year, a Conn Smythe as the most valuable player in the playoffs, and 5 number 1 All-Star team selections. I mean, this is unbelievable. Hockey hasn't seen anything like this before. Nobody has played that short of a time and had so many awards. There's only one. And add to his hockey career for that short 8 years, he also had a degree in law. He was an MP for the Liberal Party. He was the Minister of Social Development. He was an author, and he also worked with the Montreal Canadiens before and other teams. I mean, Ken Dryden, this guy was one of a kind. We're going to miss him. It's a sad day. It's a sad day in hockey when you start losing, especially an alumni of the Montreal Canadiens, but just one of those guys in hockey. It's going to be like that when Bobby Orr goes or any of the other greats. We're going to be sad to see them go. They meant so much to hockey, and they were truly all-stars in the game. Nothing else like them. I mean, they only make these guys so often, and they come around once in a generation. So it's amazing. It's amazing. A weekend event in memory of a great guy, Heater Lavelle. I don't know if you knew Bobby Lavelle. Great guy. Great guy. Passed away in 2009. Appeared to be a great success. This Heaters Heroes, they call it. At Oaks Park, they gathered on Saturday to raise money for children facing terminal illnesses, life-altering illnesses, or injuries. It's the 14th year of it, and the charity has helped more than 150 children across Niagara, organized by Mike Strange, Councillor Strange, in honor of, like I say, Bob Heater Lavelle, Niagara Falls businessman who regularly organized a number of charity events. And in Niagara Falls, he ran the NHL slow pitch tournament, a lot of different things. Bobby was a great guy. The event gives special hope to these current heroes who show courage in the face of challenges most of us will never experience. Its third day. Funds raised assist children and their families to help offset the cost of their medical journey and fulfill requests such as family trips to Great Wolf Lodge, sporting events, and also benefits Heartland Forest. Thank you, everybody, for turning out to it on Saturday. It was a great day. I didn't go myself, but there was a lot of people that did go, had a great time, supported Heaters Heroes, and it's an annual event. Hopefully it continues for years to come. Thanks go to all the volunteers and sponsors that make this premier event in Niagara Falls a success, and Councillor Mike Strange. He's the guy who kind of started it, initiated it, in memory of Bobby Lavelle, who was a great guy too. Okay, that looks like it was a success. That's a good thing. Now, I had a couple of really, really, really interesting conversations over the weekend, and I get messages all the time. I get insights information all the time. Now, the veracity of it, I can never vouch for because I don't know. This is just inside people who are giving me information that they've heard or they know, and of course, I always treat it as okay. They're good people. They're right a lot of the time. Sometimes they're not, but you treat it with a grain of salt. But 9 times out of 10, I'm going to tell you one thing about these crazy rumors. Where there's smoke, there's fire. A lot of these rumors, some would call them conspiracy theories. A lot of those things come true. So let's talk about what I heard over the weekend. And like I say, the disclaimer is I don't know if they're true. Let's find out. We'll find out. The judge will be the results will be the judge. Now, here's what I heard. Diodati's going to run for mayor again in 2026 because he wants to see the hospital project through to the end. And that's supposed to happen in 2028 when the hospital officially opens. Plus, he has a major role in the University of Niagara Falls, its campus, and the student residences planned for the end of Queen Street. And he has plans for the meteor crater, which they're working on right now. There's guys over there measuring crap out and doing stuff over there. So what does all this mean? Well, the timeline kind of makes sense because my thing with King James is that he wants to run for a higher position, maybe MPP or something like that. But now that Ford had that early election and he couldn't jump in on that one, he may have his sights set on 2030. Now, considering the election was held in the spring, the next election will be in 2029, 4 years, right? So, if you move that out, probably fall of 2029. And there's an election for the city of Niagara Falls 4 years after that in 2030, right? Because we're having our election in 2026. So there's that almost the same time. He can get all his projects done by then, and then he could take a stab at one of these. So the timeline kind of works out for him to run again. Kind of works out. Now, the other thing I heard is that Mona Patel is ready to run for mayor now if Jimmy wasn't running in 2026. But she's being encouraged by the Diodati camp to wait until 2030, at which time Diodati said he will back her to the fullest to get elected as mayor. This is what I heard now. As far as council goes itself, so you can take that for what it's worth. This is just somebody telling me what they heard is going down. Jimmy stepping down 2030 to do whatever. Mona Patel going to be running and has the full backing of Jimmy Diodati. That's what I heard at his camp. Take it for what it's worth. I know, I will guarantee you that Mona Patel will run for mayor. When? I don't know. I don't think she'll run against Diodati. But if Diodati's not running, I think she'll go for it. And sadly enough, she's got a good shot at being mayor of Niagara Falls. I mean, she really does. There's just too many people who would back her. And I'm not one of them. I'm not a big fan of Councillor Mona Patel, believe me. But there are a lot that are. Now, as far as council goes, who's going to be running this time? Well, I don't know. There was 32 last time, but I know one guy who if he doesn't throw in his hat in the ring, I will be shocked, and that's Sonny Helani, the guy who owns the UPS store on McLeod Road. I mean, did you see the pictures on Facebook of the mayor's barbecue? This guy is in every picture. He's been in every picture with these councilors and that for the last year. Everywhere you go, this guy's there. And usually that's a precursor to making a run for city council. And he's another guy that has the backing of a community to be able to win. So you can call me wrong. You can call me thinking I have a crystal ball. No, I just watch what's going on. I watch who's hanging around, putting their mug in front of the camera consistently. And then I say, okay, something's up with that. It's something in my eye. My finger. Probably that's what the problem is. So I think he's running. I think he is going to run, no doubt about it. And that's one. I don't know who else is going to run. How many of you guys who ran last time are going to run? But I know that if he doesn't run, I'll be shocked. I'll be totally shocked. And of course, the incumbents are going to run. Victor Peter Angelo and Mike Strange and Councilor Lococo. The incumbents will probably all take a shot, except for Vince Carriel. He might not do it. He might not take the shot. Unless he had a real good time when he got sent in because Wayne Campbell passed away. He may not take another shot. Chris Dabrowski might, I don't know. They're two stand-ins because the people either stepped down or passed away. So we'll see. But watch for that. And, of course, the other guy running for mayor that we know, I don't know if he will or not, but he said he's going to, and that's John Ringobeam. He's going to be running for mayor. He said that on the last show here. He said, I'm running for mayor. So we're already starting the silly season. We're a year away from the election. And that's why I say get your friends, share the show, get people to subscribe and sign up because we're going to be talking about this on an ongoing basis from now until 2026. Guaranteed. So, like I said, a little birdie told me all this crap. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But usually, where there's smoke, there's fire. Some interesting scenarios here, and nothing would surprise me. Believe me, this is Niagara Falls. Nothing surprises me. Okay, let's move over to GUS. Yeah, brother. There's got to be an investigation into GUS. It's terrible. That's the Global University Systems, the diploma mill they call a university in downtown Niagara Falls, just around the corner, just over here, just down the street. It appears to be growing, offering 3 new graduate level programs. Now, I don't know how this gets certified, but they're called Master of Arts in Applied Social Psychology, Master of Computer Science in Applied Artificial Intelligence, and a Master of Healthcare Management. I mean, I gotta look and say, are these real courses? I mean, these sound like somebody said, okay, let's get some bird courses here. We can get 40 or 50 grand from these immigrants coming in to go to school here. And the 18-month courses for masters in what? They're offered online, in person, or hybrid, half and half. The school says these new programs were developed in consultation with industry partners to ensure graduates are ready to meet real world demands. Is there a demand for Masters of Arts in Applied Psychology, Social Psychology? Not, Masters of Computer Science and Applied Artificial Intelligence? And a Master of Healthcare Management? This is a master's program? A master's programs were, I guess, I don't know. I guess this is the new diploma mill certificate you get. The school says these new programs are developed in consultation with industry partners to ensure graduates are. I already say that. Yeah, I probably did. They should have a course on how to elect politicians and negotiate tariff deals. How about that? A master's in that, because that's what we really need in Canada right now. How about a course to elect politicians that actually know how to run a budget? You can read the story about it in the review, but most of it's jibber jabber, a bunch of predictions and nonsense that really doesn't address many of the issues that are of today. Case in point, healthcare management programs mention a healthcare system that faces pressures, including overcrowded emergency departments, primary care shortages, and burnout among frontline workers. So how is graduating from this 18-month course going to address lapses in political will and underfunding to solve these problems? Because that's really where the problems are. Every one of those problems is because there's not enough money and there's not enough staff. And so all this jibber jabber, these master's courses. I mean, the former health minister said that what was needed was $200 billion. I mean, you don't need a master's in whatever it's called to deal with that or to figure that one out. It's about the money, not the courses. So I don't get it. But basically, from everything you read, these courses are ways to skirt the immigration laws through student visas. That's probably the bottom line. Brampton, imagine that. Can you imagine this in Brampton? Has 80 of these diploma mills. The fact remains that 50,000 students, and I use the term student loosely because basically they never attended the first day of class. They got a student visa, but never bothered to show up, 50,000 of them, 20,000 from India. And they stayed here, and they're allowed to bring family over on these visas and all kinds of things. And you know about the restaurants. I already talked about the restaurants hiring these workers full time, but they're not allowed to work full time on student visas. They're only allowed to work part time up to 24 hours. So they hire them for 24 hours. They get subsidized for their wages, and then these fake students, they need 40 hours a week to pay rent and everything else they're doing or whatever they're doing. So they give them the other hours, the other 16 or more hours under the table at half the wage or something, saving money, cash payouts. And you look around at the number of Indian restaurants in town, there's 60 of them or some crazy number. I don't know. But you wonder how they can all make money. I mean, there's way too many for a town this size, yet they're all there. And apparently they're all making money. And you want to know what's really going on in this city? GUS is the center of it all. So you got to look at that. I'm going to get into GUS a little bit more and something I read on LinkedIn, which is totally crazy. But I'm going to get to that after my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And when you want a good pizza, you want fresh toppings, you want great sauce, you want great crust, you want it put on the pizza in the right ratios, so that you get the full flavor and the full taste out of the sauce and cheese and pepperoni and crust, the whole ball of wax. There's an art putting it together, believe me. Well, guess what? Pete's Pizza does all that. Yeah, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. They know how to do it. They use the Mancini family recipe for sauce and crust. Can't beat that. Been around for 40 years, tried and true. They use fresh ingredients. They blend mozzarella and brick cheese for their cheese on the pizza, and they know how to put it on the crust with the sauce and the ratios. Perfect. Fresh toppings. They make a fantastic pizza. And one of my guys on Restaurant Reviews Niagara went there. He hadn't been there before. I tried it. Ken Hunter, and he's a pizza snob, much like me. And he said, "Yeah, it was good." So if Kenny says it's good, I gotta say it's pretty darn good. And that's what they bring to the table. How do you get one of these beautiful pizza pies? Well, 905-374-2222, or go to petespizzavictoria.ca. And they're opening a new store on Throwstone Road at the Old Pie Guys. Why? Because they want to give that service to the beautiful people in the northwest end of Niagara Falls. You've got your pizza place now, everybody. Once it opens, it's going to be opening in a little while. There's going to be a lot of specials that are being offered when it does open. Stay tuned. petespizzavictoria.ca is the website. And grab yourself a nice pizza. And they have good wings, panzerotti, poutine, steak and cheese poutine. They have a lot of really, really good products on their menu. You're not going to go wrong. I've tried most of them. They're all good. Tell them Paul from your city, your voice sent you. Okay, let's jump back over to GUS. And I think somebody has to look at the whole transaction regarding GUS and what's going on and who's involved and who's there's something going on with this thing. And now we've got the new student residence that's going up on city land down at the end where the old King Eddie used to be. And I don't know how that's being worked with the university and the city of Niagara Falls, taxpayers. It's a big bill, the city diploma mill tied in together. The whole affair should be looked into with a microscope. I mean, whenever a questionable enterprise is involved with city and taxpayer money, discrepancies appear and are buried fast. Let's keep the books open on this one. Now, I'm going to talk more about this university. There's a item on LinkedIn that has to be talked about, and I'm going to get it together. I might even get somebody in here to talk about it. We've talked about it twice now, but now there's a lot more going on with it. And as we get closer to the day that there's going to be a lot of money spent for a new campus and everything else, there's a lot of individuals involved with this who have a lot to gain, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all works out. It's going to be crazy. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when it all comes to fruition here and it comes down the pipe. I don't know, but something's got to be looked into. There's something not right about that place. Now, speaking of looking at the books, I want to mention this Innovation Hub. Whatever happened to them opening up the books? If you remember at the budget meeting, they dropped $700,000 on the Innovation Hub. They gave it to them, the city, in the operating budget. And that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. That's 1% on your taxes. And these guys will not open their books. Now, I call it a make work program for City Hall friends. I don't know what's going on with the Innovation Hub neither. We can't look at their books. Now, us taxpayers dropped $700,000 and nobody's looking at their books. I want to know how they're spending the money. I want to know this, and that's on city council. City councilors who are protecting your taxpayer dollars should demand to see those books before the Innovation Hub gets another dime. And we're going to see the budget come up in November for the capital budget and then the operating budget. There's going to be a line item, $700,000 or more for this Innovation Hub. And they're going to come to city council telling us all the great things they did, how great they're doing with it. But the bottom line is, at the end of the day, right? If they're doing so great, why do they need our money? What are they using it for? And we can't know that unless they actually open their books. So I'm looking for these books to be open for 2026. And I'm looking for city council to demand it. Not just say we want to and then don't look at them. I want city council to demand that they look at these books. I really, really, really do. This microphone's giving me problems here. I really, really do want them to demand that they look at the books. And let's go from there. Let's go from there. But let's see those books. Is there any counselor who's going to stand up and demand it? I don't know. I mean, if you don't see counselors asking questions about budgets and about certain line items and demanding to see stuff, that means they're in cahoots. It's got to mean it. Why wouldn't they want to? They're the custodians of our money. And if they're not asking questions, then you got to think that either they just don't give a damn, they don't care, they're not smart enough to read it, to understand the budget, or there's something there that benefits them, so they're not going to rock the boat about it. Don't ask me what it is. I don't know. But I'm certainly interested in finding out. And I think a lot of other people are too. Doge, the Doge department. Gary Wilkins and Doge. Okay, moving on. We'll see what happens with that. I'm going to try to get some more answers on that. Although DEI and the woke are being slowly discarded in the United States in favor of freedom of speech and merit-based hiring, and firing for that matter, we have Canada, who is still caught in the trap of DEI and wokeness. I mean, that's it. I mean, we see it in the region. We see it all over it. We spend a lot of money on DEI, and we don't get the talent that we should be getting because we have to fill quotas of this and that. It's baloney. We want a meritocracy where the best people for the job are hired. Not because they're gay, not because they're black, not because they're white, not because they're whatever. We want the best people to be hired, regardless of any of the other stuff. That's what we want. That's a meritocracy. You are hired on your merit, not because you're black or white or Muslim or gay or trans or whatever. Case in point, a billboard on Geneva Street in St. Catharines directed towards anyone that will listen, that is what freedom of speech is all about, was asked to be taken down. Why? You ask, why would they want to take down this billboard? Because it had this message on it. Now you tell me. It said, let kids be kids. Stop medical transitions for minors. Now, how is that offensive? Do you want to see kids taking puberty blockers and having their schlongs cut off or doing or anything else? Is this what you really want for minors? I understand this message. Let kids be kids. But it was so offensive. So why was the right to freedom of speech guaranteed to us in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms violated? Well, you're going to have to tell me why. Because let kids be kids, stop medical transitions for minors is not offensive. It's nothing. It's making a statement that a lot of people believe in. But this is where the DEI people, the woke people come in. This is so insulting. There's nothing in this message phobic. It's common sense. You don't let minors get drunk out of their minds and go to bars and drink. There's a lot of things you don't let minors do because they're not experienced enough. They're not old enough. They're not mature enough to make those decisions. But they come out of the woodwork claiming it sends harmful misinformation and contributes to a hostile environment for our trans and gender diverse community. And I'm just sitting there going, what? A sign that encourages people not to mutilate children is hostile? I mean, you got to start thinking these people are mentally ill. Seriously, mentally ill. Pride Niagara Chair Enzo De DeVitis stands by this allegation and says it directly contradicts the values and vision of the city, and the city has publicly committed to uphold. And you know what? This guy is right. The city he's absolutely right, this Enzo. The city continually preaches DEI and actually endorses this kind of stuff. That's why they want it taken down, which makes it has to make you sick. Are you kidding me? And Pride Niagara didn't stop there. They requested the city investigate the billboards for bylaw, hate speech, and advertising standard violations. One sign: let kids be kids. Stop medical transitions for minors. And I mean, they're not violating any laws. Now, the mayor, Matt Cisco, must agree with the Pride delegates since he asked the billboard company to take it down. And the billboard company said they're gonna. So they're gonna take it down. And I don't understand how such a small group of people have so much influence and so much power. I mean, DEI is strong, and I guess protecting children is not one of the city's mandates. Protecting the alphabet people seems to be more important than children. Oh well. One day, that's all going to change too. It's coming. It's changing in the United States. It's coming. People will understand what they're doing to kids. Gender dysphoria is a diagnosable condition requiring mental health treatment. It's been said. This sign asks people to stop it. Let kids be kids. And when kids as young as 8 years old are being given chemicals and being told there's something else before they even have a clue, there's a problem. Now, the billboard was defaced. It had a bunch of spray paint writing all over it. Nobody mentions that. Somebody defaced this billboard. I mean, where's the laws for that? I mean, this graffiti artist, they want to arrest them and they want to blah, blah, blah. Or how come nobody was arrested for that? You got to understand this billboard is neither transphobic or insulting. It's delivering a message, and that's that. So, I mean, what do you want to do? They want to take away parental rights to tell them what their children should be doing. They can't stop them if some teacher tells them they should transition. That's what they want to do. They're left-wing lunatics, and you're just seeing it. Taking down that billboard is the start of their craziness. It just gets worse from there. Story by Karina Walter, reporter for The Standard. Thank you, Karina, and go to the review to read the story about this. It'll blow your mind. So ridiculous. So, the police were out in full force last week when school started. That's a good thing. And they weren't fooling around. 50 police officers deployed to school zones conducted 121 traffic stops. Now, 50 police officers managed only 121 traffic stops, 4 traffic stops per officer. I mean, is that crazy or what? And they weren't fooling around. 50 police officers deployed to school zones and conducted the 121 stops. That's it. 4 stops a day per hour. I don't even think it's 4 stops a day. That was over 1 or 2 days. This is all the people that are breaking laws? That's crazy. Officers issued 83 tickets, including 50 for speeding. So people were speeding in the school zones, I guess. Of all the cars that go down these streets, only 50. 50, 50 police, 1 speeding ticket each. So I look at it and say that's not a lot of speeders. 33 other Traffic Act violations and issued 46 warnings. Now, what are warnings? They're there to give tickets out. They issued 46 warnings. They didn't say what the warnings were for. I can't even imagine it. Either you're speeding or you're not. Either you're wearing your seatbelt or you're not. Either you've got a license and insurance or you don't. What are the warnings about? Now, 11 tickets issued to people on routes used by students to walk to school or bus stops. This is interesting. So I guess people were on the sidewalk walking. The tickets were 3 for violating Ontario's Liquor License Act. They must have been doing the Brown Paper Bag Act. 8 under the Highway Traffic Act. And 10 criminal arrests for drug possession. They got this on top of whatever else they got. So this gives me a feeling that we should have cops patrolling the beat, catching these guys, these guys walking down the sidewalk with drugs and everything else. So it sounds like people, police on the beat shaking down people for drugs would work. They caught that many and they weren't even looking for that, and they caught them. I mean, can you imagine how many drug arrests would be in this city? If cops were on the beat, there'd be hundreds every day. It's shaking down these guys walking the streets. Half of them are smoking weed as they walk around. And even that, before they could steal anything, they get arrested for the drugs. That's old-time policing. And that's what I say should be happening on Queen Street. We should take the $3.5 million we give these guys for casino patrol, forget about that, and say, listen, we want cops walking the beat down Queen Street, down Victoria Avenue, all the major centers, down Ferry Street, down Main Street, where all these guys are always gathered, checking them out, making sure they're okay, number one, and welfare checks. And number two, grabbing their drugs if they have any, and just preventing a lot of the stuff that these guys do. I don't know. That would seem a bit better. Take that $3.5 million and blast it on the cops walking the beat. I'd rather see that down here than pay $3.5 million for what? Them to do the job they're already getting $213 million a year to do in their budget, of which Niagara Falls pays a big chunk. Anyway, thanks to Victoria Nicolou from the Standard for the article. And sticking around with the police here, I just want to mention that keep your eyes open. Somebody at the Town and Country Plaza, Shoppers Drug Mart, this East Indian woman or whatever the heck she was came up and tried to put a necklace around him, like that usual scam that happened on my street 2 weeks ago, and she grabbed his gold chain. Now, these people are out there, some 82-year-old guy. So these people are out there. If any of these people approach you, tell them to back off or they're going to get a punch in the mouth. Don't fool around with these people. They're not fooling around. They're there to steal whatever you have, and they usually take advantage of old people. I'd love for them to come up to me. Oh, please, please, please approach me. Please come up and talk to me. Yeah, I ran into my buddy Ray Corsell over the weekend, and it was his in-laws who were robbed on my street. The guy's gold chain was taken to his father-in-law, good guy, known him all my life. I grew up with him since I was a little kid. I wish I would have saw it. I didn't. It was around the corner where I couldn't see it. But that's what he said. He said, if we ever find these guys, he says, you're going to come and bail me out, Taz, because that's where I'm going to be headed if I find them. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. And this is the vigilante justice that's going to be handed down. If these cops and these people don't get these illegals under control. They come up to me. I gotta just go park and I'll get a walker and maybe walk around with a walker and see if they come up to me. I would love to. I would love to have that happen. I had charged with assault probably. Anyway, be careful out there. Be careful. That's all I'm saying. Be careful. These people are still hanging around the city. They go into neighborhoods. They take advantage of old people. They're a bunch of scumbags. They're dirt bags. Keep your eyes out. And please, please, if you have elderly neighbors or anybody in your neighborhood who's older, keep an eye on them because that's who they're targeting. And they're brazen. They'll just reach up and grab your necklace. They don't care, these people. They don't care. And then they take off. So be careful. Watch your neighbors. Watch your neighbors. Eyes open. Eyes open all the time. Be aware, be vigilant, and be firm with these people. Don't monkey around with them. They've approached you. Tell them to back off. Okay, has anyone had enough of this goofball chili con carne yet? And we're going to get to that after I talk about my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company. You know, whenever industry comes into town, it doesn't matter what industry, the first thing they want to know is where are the machine shops that can help us if we have problems? Why? Because they have machines, and those machines break down. And when they break down, if they're down for too long, it's costing the companies big money to be broke down. And parts come from all over the world now. Delivery isn't just on time. Could take days to get parts if they can even get them. So where do they turn to? They turn to machine shops like Hamel Machine Company, been around since 1948, serving industry. And they say, hey, can you help us? We have to get up and running again. So Bob Benner and his staff go over to the industry, the company, and they look at what's the problem, and then they fix it. And not only do they fix it, the staff there, these guys know what they're doing. They improve upon it. They make it more efficient. They make it more productive. Time is money. They help these companies run better. So when they're looking at a broken part that they can re-engineer, reverse engineer, 3D print, they have 3D printers. They can cut a new one out with their water jet cutters. When they re-engineer it, you know it's going to not only work, but if they can, they'll make it work better. They've been doing that in this city for years and years. Good corporate citizens, a good family running it, really, really nice people. You can't go wrong. Hamel Machine Company, go to their website, hamelmachine.ca. If you need any work done, they will help you as well. They're not a one-trick pony. They will help you as well. You can fabricate, design. They do it all. And that's what you want. Hamel Machine Company, tell them Paul from your city, your voice said you support our sponsors because they support the city. They support the show. Okay, this chili con carne, and I use the word con in between because he is a big con. But the West has had enough of this clown, and they're going full blast ahead, full steam ahead with WEXIT. And if you don't know what that is, that's the Western exit out of Canada. The Western provinces want out. They want out of Confederation. They have had enough, and they're moving towards a referendum to leave this joke of a country. Alberta's on the books to leave. Saskatchewan is following. Manitoba is with them all. Parts of the interior of BC are looking to leave Alberta. BC isn't just Vancouver. There's a lot of other stuff besides Vancouver. Northwest Territories have been ignored long enough and would like to join in on the WEXIT as well. So there you go. It's happening. Alberta's done playing federal games. The province pumps 4.2 million barrels of oil a day. Has a $340 billion GDP and represents 14% of the Canadian economy. And that's coming out of only 13% of the population. They don't have a big say. Saskatchewan pumps 460,000 barrels of oil per day and has rich supplies of potash, uranium, and wheat. Manitoba is the key hub for rail and ports, and it's considered the mid-continent transportation gateway. Centerport, Canada. Interior BC, Forestry and Mining Center for the West. These four provinces, along with the Northwest Territories, are a block of provinces that can and will stand alone and do not need the rest of Canada to survive. Alberta is the key to this WEXIT. Once Alberta goes, they all go. 4.2 billion barrels of oil every day is OPEC size production. The rest of Canada has been siphoning off the money for years. Alberta has been treated like a colony of Canada, not a province of Canada, and colonies eventually break off from the rulers and they make it on their own. Alberta can do that right now. So they're having a referendum. It's real and it's happening. Alberta's having a referendum, and Scott Moe, Premier of Saskatchewan, has indicated that if the people want a referendum, he will not stop it. It only needs 125,000 people saying that they want a referendum on exiting Canada, separation, and they have a referendum. So that's not a lot of people. So you watch this Carney guy, he's doing nothing to stop any of this. He's a total joke and a waste of time. This guy is probably worse than Trudeau. He screwed up more stuff in 4 or 5 months than Trudeau did in 10 years. And he, not only that, but he maintained the screw ups that Trudeau had. So he's adding on, he's piling on. He's not fixing, he's piling on. Now, the US, of course, is watching closely because if Alberta does get the hell out, they're going to be separating. They're going to be looking at the United States for as a market to make trade deals with them, and maybe even be the 51st state. Who knows? But they're going to be moving oil through a pipeline to the United States. Now they can. They don't have to deal with these idiots in Ottawa. Now they can do what they want. They're going to be their own little commonwealth, and and they're going to be moving oil like you never saw before. Danielle Smith is a smart cookie and knows what being part of the U.S. could mean to her people. She's not stupid. This lady is a smart cookie. So we'll see what happens. Stay tuned to this one because Canada's breaking up slowly. He can't even get a deal done with anybody. And that's the bottom line. And speaking of Chili con Carne, not getting deals done, he tried to do an end around on Trump. It was outsmarted once again. Trying to backstab Trump, Chile wanted to make a deal with Germany while claiming he is making a new energy deal to sidestep the U.S. He said, we'll sidestep the U.S. by making a new deal with Germany. Germany was all in until they had a little talk with Trump, and they changed their mind and decided they couldn't do it. Why? Well, Trump basically said, no. You want to get liquid natural gas or energy, get it from us. And if you don't, we'll bring tariffs. We'll throw tariffs on everything. And that was that. It reminds me of the submarines that were going to get made in Korea. Trump said, we're going to make submarines for them. We're going to put a tariff on everything. And they didn't make them anymore. Now they just got Germany. Chile doesn't get any deals done. He doesn't understand that to be able to get deals done, he needs to go through the U.S. They have the control. And Carney is the Gilligan of the good ship Canada. The minnow, he's the Gilligan, the dummy that doesn't get it. So we'll see what happens with that. But he's laid down a bunch of stuff. He wants submarine. You know, these guys yell elbows up, elbows up, blah, 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 blah. You know what? He's buying ferries for BC from China. He's buying submarines from Germany or somewhere, airplanes from Sweden. This is where he wants to buy it all. What happened to elbows up? What happened to elbows up? Why aren't they making this stuff in Canada? You know, they could. We could make them. I mean, we got shipyards. We got people who make planes. We supported Bombardier with billions of dollars. They can't make fighter jets. I mean, why not? So there you go. Let's jump down to a bunch of stuff now, just little blips here. The one thing that's going on right now is after the successful run of the National Guard and fighting crime in Washington, D.C., Trump's taking a show on the road to Chicago. And that's my kind of town. Chicago is, well, soon to be your kind of town, too, after years of being one of the most dangerous cities in the world. One of the top worst crime states in the world, or cities in the state of Illinois. I mean, it's a sanctuary state, sanctuary city. Trump's sending in help to clean up the city. The National Guard are on their way. And in the meantime, politicians in Chicago would rather have the criminals running the city than Trump helping to clean it up. I mean, people are being paid to march against taking down these criminals and cleaning up the city. Can you imagine? I mean, it's not going to stop Trump, though. He's going in. The National Guard presence in Washington has been extended to November 30th. He isn't leaving and letting the criminals take the city back, and then he's going to move over to Chicago right away and clean them up, too. Now, J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, wants to take Trump crusaders into the courts to outlaw their moves. But it doesn't matter. Help us on the way, people of Chicago. Trump's coming in. ICE agents and other federal agencies have already flooded Chicago. Yeah, they're in there. They're in there already, with the National Guard gathering at the naval base in North Chicago, waiting for orders to take back the city. Sanctuary cities won't let the authorities arrest illegals and criminals, so they get what they get, which is more than they can imagine. Tom Homan, White House border czar, will take all the illegals down, arrest them, send them back where they came from. It's a beautiful thing. Trump is also expanding Joint Task Force Delta to deal with smugglers, secure the borders, including the border with Canada, the northern border. He feels that is a threat, along with all ports. I mean, he's not messing around with these criminals, these illegals, these gangs. MS-13, Tren de Aragua. Nope. And a woke judge said, shut down Alligator Alcatraz. That was overturned. That's open again. And then they opened Louisiana lockup now, with special wing dedicated to illegals ready for deportation. So, yep, Louisiana lockout, considered a real bad prison, by the way. It's been used to house the worst of the worst, is now open for business to be used to house the worst and most violent offenders in the criminal world of illegals, MS-13, and everybody else. So it's happening. And the governor of Louisiana, Jeff Landry, said, if you don't think that they belong in something like this, he's talking about Louisiana lockup, you got a problem. He's cleaning house, Trump, and that's the way it is. So that's good. Fantastic. That's the way we want it. And man, could we use something like that in Canada? Could we use something, when you look around and see the crime, could we use something like that in Canada? Over to my last sponsor, Niagara Parks Commission, and then we're going to get to the Trump's renaming of the Department of Defense. And, when you talk about the Niagara Parks Commission, you're talking about 32 miles of the most beautiful parkway in Canada or in the world. Now, you can go from Lake Ontario to Lake Erie on the Niagara Parkway. The Niagara Parks Commission are the custodians of this beautiful, beautiful green belt, you want to call it. But they don't just stop at the center piece of the Niagara Parkway. And that's the Niagara Falls themselves, one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. They don't stop there. Once you see that and you see the splendor of it, now you can get into the history of Niagara Falls and the Niagara Parks Commission. They redid a power station. You go in there and see a power station from the early 1900s, how it operated, and actually take a walk down into their waste tunnels, where when the water went by the turbines, it goes into the river, and stand at the edge of the Niagara River below the falls. They have the scenic tunnels where you can stand right next to the falls while they're coming down and look up at the water coming over the brink. You can go to the Spanish Aero Car and take a trip right over the whirlpool where the water comes down and makes a turn and then heads down to to Lake Ontario from Lake Erie after it goes over the falls. And it creates a whirlpool down there. You can go to the Great Gorge Strip and stand right next to grade 6 rapids, so rough that boats can't navigate through there. They won't let boats in there. I mean, there's so many attractions, and now they have Niagara Takes Flight, their latest attraction, which is mind blowing. It's an immersive trip from Lake Ontario to Lake Erie up the Niagara River, stopping along the way for historical pieces, Laura Secord and the power stations, and right up to 40. I heard people go to it and they said it was just mind blowing, a $25 million attraction. So yeah, you're coming into town like 14 million people do every year. Come on in, have a good time. Go to the Niagara Parks Commission, niagaraparks.com. Go to their website. You will see all the attractions. You will see all the different items that you can get, like attractions passes and parking passes. It's unbelievable. You're going to love it. You can even see Bob Gale's goats. Niagara Parks Commission. Check it out on the website, niagaraparks.com. You are going to be amazed. And if you live in Niagara Falls, get down there and see it. We don't get down there enough, and we live right here. I can hear the falls from my front porch at night. Go to Niagara Parks Commission. Please support all our sponsors. They support the city. They're good corporate citizens and do a lot for everybody in town. Okay, so my last item today. Trump renames the Department of Defense the Department of War and probably tells Maduro any more buzzing of American boats by Venezuelan F-16s will result in the F-16s being taken out. Green light, take them down if they present any kind of threat or buzz the boat. He's not fooling around. FAFO, Maduro. It won't be pretty. And to make his point, he sent 10 stealth F-35s to Puerto Rico just in case they're needed to deal with Venezuela. And Maduro's sending troops to the shore. So if there is some kind of invasion coming or something going on, that they can fight with them. And I think it's only a matter of time before they go in and take out Maduro. He's going to be gone. Either they're gonna scoop him and arrest him and bring him back to the States for trial for terrorism and running the drug cartels, which have been declared terrorist organizations now, and they're going to let Venezuela install the real elected official president of the country. So unbelievable. Trump's taking control of that, and this guy's either going to be gone or they're going to probably maybe blow the hell out of the Capitol building and get him while he's there if he hasn't. You just don't take off and go into exile, which would be the smart thing to do. I want to end the show with an interesting quote I read. And when I look at all the news and all the stuff going on and these billboards and everything else, I read this and I thought it was very interesting. Maybe the reason grown adults are acting like children about President Trump is because he stepped up and has acted like a strict parent to a group of spoiled, ignorant, entitled teenagers in a government that has been in need of a true father for a long time. And I couldn't have said that better. All this woke stuff, all this DEI stuff, everything going on, these protests on the streets because he's going in and taking out criminals, stopping crime in the city. What kind of people would protest this? Well, I'll tell you what kind. The kind that are paid to, the kind that are spoiled, the kind that want their way. And I don't understand any of it. I can't understand any of it. This made so much to me, is that the United States has needed a father for so long, and they got one now. They're going to do the right thing. They're going to stop crime. They're going to straighten out these sanctuary cities. And anybody who gets in their way faces the chance of getting arrested as well. And that's the Governor Newsom, Governor Pritzker, any of them. They get in the way, they're going to be arrested as well for obstruction. They better smarten up, and it's time for a father figure to take back that country. And we need the same thing in Canada. We don't need these Chili con Carne people and Pierre Trudeau. We need somebody who's going to sit there and take control and say, we're getting rid of these illegal criminals. We're getting rid of crime. We're dropping taxes. We're giving Canada back to the Canadian people. I know Paulie Ebbs, he's there and making his way. I don't have a lot of faith in him, but either way, we're going to be facing something. I don't know if we're going to be facing an election. I don't know if we're going to be facing WEXIT and the breakup of Canada. Something's got to happen. It cannot happen. We can't take it anymore. So something's going down. Let's sit and see what happens. And one thing, when it does, I'll be talking about it. Your City, Your Voice, 4680Q, Paul Killamere. Support our our Facebook page. Come on, hit the subscribe button. Let's get the message out and support our sponsors. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamel Machine Company, and the Niagara Parks Commission. Be back tomorrow with Trash Talking Tuesday. Be sure to tune in at noon. And you need to tune in at noon. Promises made, promises kept. See you tomorrow at noon. Have a great day, everybody. God bless you all. Be careful out there. Be safe all there. Take care of your neighbors. We got scam artists stealing from people like crazy, and they steal from the people least able to protect themselves. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Ciao, ciao for now.